Welcome. Maggie, do you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Oh, this is Maggie. The one kitty that you usually don't see as socks, and she's not over here. John's over there. Lucky's over there. This is Miss Maggie, the mama cat. Anyway, oh geez. Keith Burgess, I believe. I hope I'm not getting your name wrong. For those who, I've somewhat recently become interested in historical trekking. I've liked living history for a while, but if you are interested in historical trekking, living history, the mountain men, the long hunters, etc., then I highly recommend this channel. Yeah, I've watched several of his videos today alone. Actually, today is when I found the channel. Just through happenstance. I mean, I didn't know about the channel before. Otherwise I couldn't have just found it today. Anyway, I've watched several of his videos. One, he was just basically walking in the woods. Another, he showed his kit. Another, he showed food, which for some reason I have this thing about food. For those who know, yesterday was the 11-month anniversary of losing my wife. And one thing she said to me early on in our relationship was, and I didn't realize I was doing this, but I would get around my food. I would hover over my food. Once she said that, I tried to pay attention and not be that way anymore. And for those who know something about my history, maybe you know why I did that, because of the places I was brought up in. You did that, or you weren't going to eat. Somebody else was going to eat your food. And there were times in the mess halls where, dining halls, mess halls, whatever, where there were fights. You know, I want your food. No, you're not going to have my food. Maybe that's where I get this thing about food. I don't know, but I went AWOL from one of those places, and I didn't have nothing to eat. I was hungry. We were out there for a couple of days, and I was hungry. But anyway, I recommend his channel. I'm going to provide you a link to his channel because, frankly, I think it's one of the better channels. How do you say better channels on the, not better channels on the subject, because he lives in Australia. Now, I have, on my dad's side of the family, I have family in Australia. I don't know their names. I don't know where they live in Australia. I just know they live in Australia. But just because he's in Australia does not mean the information is not relevant to us in the United States. Okay, so I haven't watched all his videos. But I've watched several of his videos, and I like them. I mean, I can't. I have no how do you say, no complaints, no dislikes or disagreements with his videos. I like them. And for those who want to see, the beard is almost, well, it's over a foot long now. I don't know if it's still growing or not, but anyway, I know I used to make videos about my beard and cover my face up with it. But anyway, the beard is sort of my thing. It's like people know me by my beard. But anyway, so I liked all the videos that he made. Now I'm new to this. I'm still putting together my kit. Like I commented on, not on one of his videos, but on someone else's videos. The kit for a long hunter is really not that expensive. Okay, the two areas that cost the most would be the rifle and the clothing. When I so as to fit the expensive things into those two categories. A good wool blanket, a good heavy wool blanket, fit that into the clothing category because they're not cheap. The one that I have two wool blankets. One's light, one's heavy. The heavy one is an Italian Army surplus, World War II surplus wool blanket. Okay, and believe you me, when I open that box, whew, the smell of mothballs. Oh, goodness. I mean, you really have to air it out for a while. But I've had that since back in Texas, and my I still have a long ways to go on my persona and everything, and I want my persona to be friendly with the Abenaki, which was the Indians that lived in this area of New Hampshire. Um, I mean, I don't want my character to be a soldier. I just want him to be, I guess, a long hunter, you know, out there providing food for a settlement, for some farmers, for a fort, for a settlement, uh, you know, being finding trails and being a guide and that kind of thing is kind of like where I'm trying to look. Um, I still have a long ways to go with my kit because like I said, I'm still new to this. But the link I'm going to share to his channel, I mean, just it's excellent. That's all I can say. It's excellent. I mean, from just watching one of his videos, I learned a lot. Is like having you have your powder horn, but he also carries powder bags. I was like, you know what? That's an excellent idea. Because what if you use all the powder in your powder horn? It's possible. And in some cases, probable, especially if you're out there for weeks at a time, or even months at a time, you're going to use your powder. Um, the rifle, I'm goodness, you know, I'm thinking minimum 50 caliber for a flintlock, but I would really prefer to go a little higher than that, 54 caliber. 54 caliber would probably be better. 60 caliber would probably be best. But then I'm going to want a second rifle as a squirrel gun. You know, small game, squirrel, rabbit, probably wouldn't shoot a chipmunk with it. I mean, they're they're so small. Actually, I had John out in my arms, so when I walk Lucky, I take John with me most of the time, and he sits in my arms. He saw a chipmunk run across the neighbor's yard. Oh boy, oh boy, he was raring to go to catch that thing. And I know I still talk like I'm from Texas, raring, wrecking, folks, things like that, but I'll probably always talk that way. Um, English isn't even my first language, and that's all I speak today, and I speak it like I'm from Texas. But anyway, so yeah, I recommend his channel, and if you're looking to figure out your kit, I highly recommend, and I don't recall the title of his video, that particular video, but it would be easy to find. He titles his videos quite well, not like me. I come up with strange names for some of my videos that sometimes I don't think they even relate to the video. But anyway, but he labels his videos as per what the video actually deals with. So you can look through his channel and find one on his kit. And right now, the only bag I have is, take that out, is my possibles bag, my shooting bag. Since I don't have a rifle yet, I mean, I don't have a flintlock. I have rifles. I just don't have a flintlock. I don't have shooting gear in them. Let's see. This is my fishing kit. It's not completely authentic by any means. That's the gray stuff that you see. That's duct tape that I have to keep the fishing line from unraveling, and I keep that in here. And unlike Texas, there are plenty of places to fish up here. I mean, without having to go to God knows where. You know, I mean, there's good fishing in Texas. Don't get me wrong. I used to love fishing. I still enjoy it. I just don't love it like I used to. When I was a kid, I spent all day out there. But up here, there's a river right down here. Actually, it's there, and then you go down the road a bit, and it's on the other side of the road. There's Rockwood Pond about 2 miles south of here. Compass is actually a sundial compass. Sorry, the lighting's not all that great. This Panther Primitives had several years ago on their Christmas, as a part of their Christmas catalog. It's basically a brass candle. I've obviously never used it, but it's a brass candle. I'd like to get another one. Let's see, this may be my fire starting. This is my fire kit. There are actually 2 tins in here. There's this one. This just has some tow in it, but this comes off as a magnifying glass, so starting fires. And then this kit is my flint and steel. Little instruction paper that came with it. There's the steel. Now, I read somewhere that if you take your steel and you put it in sugar, you can tell I've used it, right? And you put it in sugar, that it will actually benefit starting fires. There's 1 flint. That's all I have. I need to get some more flints. There's some tow. And this stuff you could also use to clean the barrel of your gun. And this is char cloth in here. You want to see what char cloth looks like. You want to get it all over the place. I don't even have to. It's just basically burnt cotton fiber. And that goes in there. And then the tow goes back in there. The flint, almost the color of my pants, so you didn't see it at first. That goes in there. And I need to get more tow and more flints, because eventually, you know, and I also want to get a spare steel, fire steel. There we go. And both of those fit into this bag right here. I want to get some more bags as well. They're depending on where you get them, you can get them pretty cheap, $2 or $3, $4. Other places will sell the same thing for 10, 15, 20 bucks. So this is pretty long right there. And actually, the other day I was going through this, and I found some sinkers or weights at the bottom of the bag that had fallen out somehow from in here. And so this is what I have in here right now. I know it's not much. Downstairs, it's kind of big for this little apartment. I have I have my pack. It's an oilskin pack from Panther Primitives. The rope, tent stakes. I think I still have the tent stakes. Somebody stole my oilskin cloth, my oilskin tarp, so I'm going to have to replace that. But the blanket or blankets, although the light blanket and heavy blanket are in two separate places, I need to put them together because up here, you know, right now at night we're in the 20s, but before long it's going to be in the teens. By sometime next month or early January, it's going to be minus 20. And that's one thing I'm wondering about. Trekking, camping, when it's minus 20 at night, there's 5, 10, 15 feet of snow out there. Snowshoes, yes, but snowshoes, put that with a clothing category, they're not cheap. I was actually looking at a website last night, I think, and this company up in Maine, they build several styles of snowshoes, traditional snowshoes. And they showed, actually they showed an older style, traditional style of snowshoe next to where somebody used a modern snowshoe. The modern snowshoe, they actually went into the snow several inches. The older style of snowshoe was, you know, I mean, it was barely, they barely sunk into the snow. So, obvious, what are you going to go with, the new or the old? And the newer ones seem to require more maintenance than the older ones. I could actually get a pair of decent traditional snowshoes at one of the two stores in town, the two used stores, junk stores, whatever you want to call them. One is not really a junk store. It's a little nicer than that. The other place is a junk store. But anyway, so I'm going to provide a link to his YouTube channel.